Two and 3, 2 and 1. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network one-on-one. Again tonight here, summer series, special summer series for me tonight, and it's just an honor to have this guy here in the Brevard Sports Network downtown Melbourne studios here in good old Wickham Forest. So without further ado, let me introduce, I call him a legend. Now, I don't hold the fact against him that he's a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. I don't hold the fact against him that, not the black, none of it. I just don't, because I have all the respect in the world for 24 state championships, 17 state runner-ups. You do the math right there, 41 times either a state champ or a state runner-up in track and field and cross country. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome here Mr. Doug Butler. How you doing, Coach? Grab that mic, pull that mic up close to you there.
Doing good.
Yep.
Thank you, Alan. I brought one of your favorite cups with me.
Yeah. Holding it up nice and big for the camera to see there. And I know you took a picture out in front of the studios where the Ravens flag proudly hangs. I can't wait to see that on social media a little later. Coach, I want to start with you first, because you're not a guy that just coaches. You still actively run. I saw a post you put up yesterday, and it's going to lead to what ultimately we're here for. But I saw a post you put up yesterday about Miami. You said, for my Miami friends, you're in a run clinic. What is that?
No, actually, I'm speaking at a clinic in Miami. They're doing a clinic in Miami. But, yeah, I still do. I run every day. I'm logging 40 miles a week. I was hitting more, but I've had some skin cancer issues, so I'm getting stitches all over. I got about 20 stitches in me right now. But I do run every day. I don't race a whole lot anymore. I did challenge the Rockledge coach to a mile race as a nice little fundraiser.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah. So let's jump right into that. That's a nice segue to it. The Rockledge is going to be a nice ribbon cutting ceremony coming. That's going to be what, August 1st?
August 5th.
August 5th, and the information is there on the screen for that. And this is going to be a fantastic event. And you have, go ahead, and probably, arguably, no doubt, the biggest competition you have in the county in terms of winning the conference championship every year. And so the idea behind this, what made you want to do this?
Well, Freddie's been a good friend of mine. Freddie Goins, the Rockledge coach, they're phenomenal. I mean, when you talk track in Brevard County, you think Rockledge girls. 11 or 12.
Right.
With COVID not being there would have been 12 conference titles in a row. And finally, they're getting a rubber track, which they should have had. I mean, all the tracks in the county now are getting rubberized, I think, with COVID money, after I raised $165,000 to put rubber at Satellite. But so they're trying to raise money for equipment, for hurdles. It takes a lot more money after you get the rubber to get 80-plus hurdles and high jump pads and pole vault pads and all the equipment. So I went out and I said, Freddie was posting on his Facebook that he ran a mile or whatever on the track.
I saw
already.
that, yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome, Freddie. I said, why don't why don't you and I have a nice little mile race on your new track, and we'll break it in. And he kind of hesitated. He wasn't going to go there with it. And so finally I said, come on, we could do this as a nice little fundraiser, get people to make pledges. And he's like, people won't pay. I said, my kids would pay money to come see me suffer through a mile. I know they'd pay. Your kids would pay to see you do it. So
now, how does it work? How do you pledge?
So it's just $25. They're having a ribbon cutting on August 5th. Anybody can come out, donate $25. The Satellite track team, they need donors for their hurdles. It's $185 for a hurdle, and you need 80 hurdles to put on a track meet. So Satellite track team, we sponsored a hurdle. You can get your name on hurdle. So we sent them a check for $185 to buy a hurdle, and now I'll write them a check for $25 to help go toward their equipment.
Tell you what we'll do here. Brevard Sports Network will buy a hurdle and write a check. We'll match exactly what you did.
Wow, thank you.
We'd love to have a hurdle up at Rockledge, and of course the $25 will stroke him a check that day and hand it to him on August the 5th, because we got to see this, Coach. Well, I've got to see this race.
It's going to be great.
Has he countered? Now, you guys dominate the distance. You guys dominate the distance, although they do have a fantastic distance runner.
They've got Devin Mikowski on the boys' side, and what's her name? The girl.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
Yeah.
She's on the screen.
She's a sophomore. She's phenomenal. So they've got a couple good distance runners.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Now that they've got, or have some distance runners that can compete, you got any sprint people?
Well, the sad thing is I'm 3A this year.
No.
Yeah, Satellite got moved to 3A. We got bumped up. They keep opening the doors.
So you won't compete against them?
I will compete against them at district and region.
Oh, that's right.
I was in 2A.
That's
were in 3A.
That's right.
So now I get to get spanked by them in district. So I'll get destroyed by them in conference, and then I get destroyed by them in district. And then they're in the region of death down south. It's just a brutal region.
It is.
With St. Thomas Aquinas, Miami Northwestern, all those schools. But I've heard that some O'Galley kids had transferred to Satellite. I don't know that for a fact, but we may have a couple good sprinters. Akaya Jones is returning for me. He was a great sprinter for me. We're just not a sprint powerhouse.
Right.
So, but if we can get a few scores in, but it's all for fun.
So once again, August the 5th, the ribbon cutting ceremony at Rockledge High School to dedicate the new track. The information is on the screen. Why don't you go ahead and buy a hurdle and donate, and that's $185, and then go ahead and cut them a check for $20. I know times are tough. If you can't do a hurdle, at least do the 25.
I challenge all track teams in the county. I would do this if Cocoa was doing it. Cocoa beat all these schools are getting rubber tracks. I think they should all get on board, and I'll support all of them and help them all. Yeah,
no doubt. And I think it's important because track is such a vital part of what these student athletes do. I mean, it's incredible the amount of, you say play other sports, but I was talking to some student athletes over the weekend, Coach, that I said, or youth football players, and I said, what do you want to do when you get older? And I thought one of them was going to tell me he wanted to play in the NFL. He said, no, he wants to run pro track.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was exciting to hear.
Well, if you look at the NCAA championship football games, the majority of those guys all ran high school track.
Right.
They were if they were a lineman, they either threw shot and disc, or if they were a position player, they ran.
Yeah.
Your wide receivers, running backs, they all ran track. The mass majority of them. So more of the football kids should be coming out for track.
Yeah, it's funny. We're doing this today. Last night, the Cocoa girls were honored by Cocoa City Council for their 4x100
what a team.
State championship. That was an incredible run. I mean, it really was. And they went to the New Balance Championships and ended up beating the 4A school up in Philadelphia, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, and they're young. They all return.
And what was nice is the Cocoa track and the Rockledge track, they were under construction this year. So those kids came out to our track and worked out some. So
you got a chance to really see them go.
Our kids could stand there and go, holy cow. Yeah, they work, and that's what I want. That was good for a kid.
Well, you've got quite a list of accolades, Coach. As I said, 24 state champions, 17 state runner-ups. Once again, you look, guys like Gabe Montague. How is Gabe doing?
Gabe's doing well. He's actually out in Colorado for like 6 weeks training, putting in some miles at altitude this summer. Good.
And, all right, so I want to talk. You're wearing an Eastern Florida State shirt. And for those that may have heard in passing or may not know about this, you've got double duty to pull this fall, don't you? Talk a little bit about that.
I do. My wife and I should get along really well this fall because I won't.
She won't see you, will she?
I won't be home. But I ran for BCC in the late 80s, early 90s. It was Brevard Community College back then. I was working at the Space Center, ran a junior college marathon 2 years in a row. I was 26, 27 years old, late 80s, 90. And so when they brought the cross-country, they had a cross-country team then in 90, and then they did away with it. Eastern Florida has never had a cross-country program. There are 10, now 11, I think, women's teams and 6 or 7 men's junior college teams in the state of Florida now.
Wow.
So when I got heard that they were going to start the team and I applied for it, excuse me, I didn't want to leave Satellite. My son Alex is a freshman.
Great soccer player.
He's a good soccer player. He made the varsity team, played a lot, started most of the games actually, averaged probably 60 minutes a game as a freshman. So I didn't want to leave Satellite. They wanted me to come full-time to Eastern Florida, and I just didn't want to leave because I'm not zone Satellite. So I just said I can't do it. And then they offered me the position that I could do it part-time and stay and finish 3 years at Satellite, which is what I just want to coach 3 more years at Satellite, and then I'm done. That's 25 years of high school coaching.
No doubt.
Then
will you be full-time at Eastern Florida?
And then I'll be full-time. Then I'm just going to focus on building the Eastern Florida program. I've got a really good men's program this year. I've got a good girls team. I have an older girls team, we'll put it that way. But I've got a very good guys team. Some college coaches in Florida that I was talking to said I got a better recruiting classes than they did.
Wow.
A couple reasons that happens is some of them they just don't have money for kids. I had 10 scholarships guys, 10 scholarship girls at Eastern Florida. So I just showed the kids and their parents that, you can come run for me. We can be very successful at the junior college level, and I can get your kid to the NCAA level. You can pay nothing here for 2 years and then, move on.
Do you have scholarships still available? Are you still recruiting?
I am still recruiting girls.
Okay.
I still have 2 girls scholarships left that I haven't used.
Okay.
I've used all my boys scholarships. I'm led by Dayton Law from Satellite.
Right.
903 2-miler. He's just a beast right now. He'll be tough at the national level. The region and national meet are at FSU, God's country. So it's a course that they know well. All these high school kids have run their state championships there. So he'll lead them. I got 2 kids from Lake Braddock in Miami, Gabe Garcia and Anthony Burns, 2 really good guys. A 9:22, Gabe ran 9:22 for the 2-mile. Anthony ran 4:27 for the mile. Colton Pickard from Estero, he was a 4:16 miler, 4th at state. So I got 4 really good, solid front-running guys up there.
How is it that one college in this town keeps shutting programs down and one college keeps expanding them? I don't understand that. It's wild to me. I mean, I get it that the dynamics are different in terms of monies and things like that, but as I've watched Eastern Florida State grow, Coach, it is incredible what Jeff Carr and the president have done over there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and we're very well funded for scholarships, far better than what Florida Tech was. So it's a shame for I'm
9 sports in 3 years.
Yeah, Pete Mazzone at Florida Tech, great guy. I don't understand it at all. They were a low budget team to shut it down. Dr. Ritchie and Jeff Carr, Jack Parker,
it's amazing.
They're pushing athletics, and that's why they're good.
Those are some of the best junior college facilities in the country.
They are
over there. They really are. And of course, you got one of the best sports information directors on the planet in Michael Parsons. He does a terrific job. That is about as well run of a college athletic department as you'll see at any level, really. There is no doubt about that. And I guess that probably had a lot to do and factor in with your decision to go there.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk going to a place that I thought might be shut down in a year or two.
Right.
So,
no doubt.
I knew these guys are solid.
Here with Coach Doug Butler of the Satellite Scorpions, the cross country and track and field coach, as well as Eastern Florida State. Coach, as you look back on your career, as you said, 3 years, you're going to be coming up on 25 years. Is there a memory or two that really stick out for you? I mean, 41 times a state champion or state runner-up. I know, and Tom Brady likes to say, and I know we both can't stand him, Tom Brady likes to say that 3rd Super Bowl he won was his favorite, or 4th Super Bowl he won was his favorite because the first 3 came so quick, and then it took 10 years to win another one. So he appreciated that 4th one more than he ever had. Was there a special moment for you winning a state championship or an individual in your career?
There were probably a couple that stand out. My first one in 2002, when I started coaching, the guy that pushed me to get hired there told the headmaster that cross country would win a state title within 5 years. He told me that, and he was just kind of joking and just kind of throwing me into, out in front of the bus,
right,
telling her that I would win a state title in 5 years. And we did it in the third year, and we had 4 state titles by the 5th year. So the first one with the girls in 2002, and they were all young. They were like middle school through, one was a 6th grader, Kayla Hale, the best female runner that's ever come out of Brevard County. She was only in 6th grade when we won our first state title. So the first one on the girls was very special. The third one on the boys, the first one on the boys, my son was a sophomore. My son Kyle, he's in the Army. He's a captain. He's a ROTC instructor at Embry-Riddle. I just moved here back from Seattle. So the first one, he kind of saved the day. He came through and was our 5th guy that secured the state title. And then his senior year, we weren't picked to win it. PK Young was dominating all year long. They had 2 brothers, Jeffrey and Michael Anderson, that were phenomenal. One was a Foot Locker finalist. We weren't picked to win it. I had a good runner named Kyle Cook who was hurt all year long. The day before, we're actually running down the sidewalk out in front of your complex here, and he's like, "Coach, I don't think I can run tomorrow." And I said, "Kyle," I said, "it's a state meet. If you're hurt, you can't run. At least try it, and then you'll know that you didn't. But if you look back and say, maybe I could have, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life." And so he ended up he gutted it out. He paced a couple of my guys in. He was our 4th man, I think. My son had a phenomenal run, was 3rd overall at state, and we won by 1 point because my 5th runner passed PK Young's 6th runner right at the line. Had he not passed him right before the finish line, we would have tied and lost on the tiebreaker.
Wow.
So
because they had their 6th man,
the
right?
6th man,
right.
So that was kind of
that's how Vieira won their state championship this year. Yeah.
So we would have lost it that way, and the next year we did lose on the tiebreaker.
Wow, that's a great story. At the line,
yeah, he
no
passed him
doubt.
right before the line. So those were special. And then my satellite first state title. As satellite was really special to me because satellite had never won a state title in boys, so that was really that one was good.
Yeah, that's incredible. You know what I love about you, Coach, is that we're talking about this event coming up on August the 5th, and I'm going to put that information has been up on the screen. The Rockledge track dedication ceremony. Coach Doug Butler and Freddie Goins are going to run a mile. For charity, essentially, and the charity is the school.
Track team.
Buy a hurdle for $185. Make a $25 donation. Help these student athletes out. They most certainly deserve it. The thing I love about you is you're a crusader for all of Brevard County track. I really love the way that you cheer all of Brevard County track. Anytime we put up a post, you're one of the first ones to like it. Doesn't matter what the team is. What is the state of Brevard County high school track at the moment? Are we in a good spot?
Yeah, it's probably the most competitive county, and by far, if you look at the size of the county population-wise, I mean, other than Miami, who's got, I don't know, 1 billion people, and Jacksonville with their population. But overall, if you look at this county, we dominate as far as distance and sprints. We have a phenomenal class, and I've always been that way. I've always, my practices are open all summer long, so you'll see us at the park with Mel High and West Shore and O'Galley, Edgewood kids, anybody that wants to run. It's not fun training by yourself, so I like to have it open.
Are you? I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask: are you for or against what high school football has done? In other words, I can't think of another sport that, and it depends how you look at it, that would benefit or not benefit because you want to play and run against the best, right? So would you like to see track go to what high school football has done? In other words,
no.
Right.
No,
so you already know.
Absolutely not.
Gotcha. You want to keep running against those kids from Miami. Right.
And they're talking about going that route that we will go public versus private school,
Yeah.
maybe. Why? I don't want to be the best public school in Florida. I want to be the best school in Florida.
If you had to pick one, because sadly I think one is coming, one or the other is coming, what one would you go with?
Oh, wow.
Would you do the Metro where you wouldn't have to run against Miami, Jacksonville, or Tampa, or would you just – because in your sport it's weird because the private schools really dominate. Not that they don't in football, but, you get the Cocos of the world, and the Rockledge in football.
I mean, I coached in private school for 15 years.
And track.
Yeah, I was 15 years at the private school. I'll be 10 years at the public school.
Uh-huh.
So I think I'm – qualified to say
absolutely
both ways. When I was at the private school, I would tell the public school coaches, shut up and coach who you got, all right?
Right.
Not everybody can afford to pay tuition to come to my school to run. I coach who comes in the doors, all right?
Right.
So now that I'm at the public school, I want to beat the private schools,
Right.
So I've lost state this past year to Bulls.
Right.
The best private school, arguably, in the state.
Right.
I beat them the 2 years before that. No greater satisfaction than beating them at the state level 2 years in a row. And then 2 years in a row before that, I lost to Bulls. So I don't want to separate private and public. I don't want to go the Metro route.
You just want to keep it the way it is?
I just want to keep it the way it is.
Okay.
It works fine. It's worked fine this way for a long time.
I have no issues with it. And I say, and the Ryan Schneiders and the Wayne Youngers of the world that coach the football teams at Rockledge and Coco, well, they'll tell you too, yes, they'll take this because not having to face those Miami teams is obviously a big advantage to putting a championship state trophy in the case. But they much rather would play those teams from Miami.
Yeah.
Coco wants to play Gibbons, and Rockledge wants to play American Heritage Plantation. Yeah. They do.
Who cares about a state trophy? It's like we had our coaching clinic, and they've expanded our state qualifying to 8 teams from the region are going to state now. So it's 32 teams at state. And I'm like, why? That's too many. It's not just so you can say that you made the state meet.
Right.
It used to be 6. It used to be 24. Back in the older days, it was 16.
Right.
We keep expanding it, and it's financial.
It's like the NCAA college basketball field.
Yeah. They want more money. They want more fans coming out.
Right.
They're going to get their extra dime, and I want to set my goals at winning a state title, not to make. And so when the coach is like, "Well, it doesn't affect you," I said, it shouldn't affect you. All right, you set your standards too low for your kids if that's your only goal is to be in the 32 to make it to
well
state.
Said.
So your kids are going to achieve what you expect out of them.
That's exactly right.
I
couldn't agree with you more. I just couldn't agree with you more.
If I expect my kid to get a C, he's going to get C's.
He's going to get C's, right?
Right? So expect
and
more
want praise for a B minus.
Right? Right.
So, no doubt. Getting ready to wrap up here with Coach Doug Butler. And, Coach, one of the things I also love about you is I know that you're a family man. First of all, I don't know how you juggle it all. It's obviously different when you have children. Is this your first grandbaby?
Yes, he's one.
One. How has that changed your life, having a grandbaby?
He's pretty incredible. I got the babysitting by myself. My son is a big Lightning fan, and he had tickets to Game 6.
Okay.
Him and his wife, he took her to Game 6.
Uh-oh.
And so I drove up to DeBerry, where they live, and spent the night and kept him by myself. Gave him a couple Mountain Dews and
let him watch Scarface.
We had the NASCAR race on, actually. And,
I like Meet the Fockers, right? Remember that movie?
So, when you're raising your kids, you don't realize at the time, how fast they're going to grow.
Yeah.
And so you try to take, you've learned.
Right.
Put it that way. You've learned that life goes by pretty quick.
I love the post you put up. Even the ones where he's in Steeler garb, good, whatever. Your Steelers. You like the name change of the stadium?
I'm glad that Acrisure is just one word.
Right.
Because if it was 2 words, it would be Acrisure Stadium, and the initials would be, you know what?
Yeah, I know.
And we're going down to the to watch the game. So.
Where do you think they finished this year? You don't have Big Ben.
What?
That defense is tough. Are they? I think, and I'll admit this now, I don't think they're going to finish at the bottom of that division. I don't know that they'll win it, but I think they have what it takes to be a wild card.
Offense sells tickets, defense wins games, right?
Well, you know that better than anybody in Pittsburgh.
Yep. So we've got our defense. We'll see how the quarterback situation pans out. It's 8,000 to 1 of them winning the Super Bowl. So I'm going to throw down a C note.
Okay. Take it. Why not?
What's $100?
You might be retiring next week.
800,000 or something like that. So,
I like it. But all right, as we wrap up here, once again, August the 5th, the information on the screen here. And Coach, I can't thank you enough for coming by here today and for everything, really. We absolutely, and we've learned so much from you and others here in the county about covering track, and we have really grown to love this sport. And I'm excited for cross-country season coming up. I love getting out there, running through the wet fields, chasing the runners down. That's a lot of fun to me. I dig it.
Yeah, this county is going to be very I'm down. My team's not the Joe Wester, Gabe Montague team of the past. I'm going to be not near as good as I was.
Who are some of the teams that'll be up there?
Rockledge will be very good. They're going to surprise some people this year. Rockledge will be very good. He's got a kid that transferred in, Devin Mikowski, and he's got a couple other kids. So keep an eye on Rockledge. We'll be solid. We won't be superb. We'll see how we in 3A. I have Bell and Jesuit to compete with, and and we won't even be close to them. So
how about Astronaut? How will they be?
Astronaut won't be that great. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty level county this year.
Gotcha.
But
well, you know what? We can't be great every year.
No.
No. I mean, we've had cross-country state champions in each of the last 3 years in this county, right? So, I mean, you won back-to-back. Vieira won it last year, their first ever. So you can't do it every year. Coach, thank you so much, man, for coming by. Did we forget to talk about anything? Because I want to make sure we mention everything here. Scholarships out there for girls, Coach.
Yep.
Congratulations on the gig over at Eastern Florida. Congratulations on an absolutely stellar career. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Coach Doug Butler, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski. This has been the Brevard Sports Network one-on-one summer series right here on BSN. Have a great night, and you know the slogan, make it a sports night.